Yeah, I was muted on YouTube. I
Oh.
pulled a Cole.
Great job.
I was muted on YouTube. So hey, YouTube fans, we're here at Pitside Live. So welcome to the YouTube channel. It was we were muted. Cole did that when I was gone, and I
Yeah, that's why I just got a phone call. You know who from? You know, so hey, how come I can't hear you guys? Nobody else can either. So
hey, we're here.
good job, Tech Man. That way. So
That's
hey,
the first time I've done that. So
all your radio listeners, I know you can hear us, but those of your YouTubers, you just get us. You have to read our lips. So I don't stare at the camera very well. So I don't know if you can read our lips.
No,
very
but
well.
what we were talking about our points battles and all that stuff going on, and I'm looking back at the points here too, and like modifieds wise, Jesse Dennis has 8 wins this year, but he's still only leading by 6 points because of the 15 features. Brad Bergeron has finished in the top 5 all 15 times. So if you want to know how to beat a guy that finishes in the top 5 in every race, you have to do what Jesse's doing and win 8 times. Even if Jesse Dennis pulls this off and wins, that's very impressive for what Brad Bergeron's done this year. This is the best season he's ever had in a modified. I know he never races for points usually. He's never been a points guy in a modified, and he's been here every week, and he has just been so consistent every single week. And he's like one of those guys that's like Kevin Harvick. He's just like always there back 4 or 5 years ago,
Oh, yeah.
you know. He was just
Within the last
just like waiting around, and then the last quarter of the race.
last 5 laps, he'll pop into the top 5, and then if not, be up there battling for the win. So, and that's the thing is too that a lot of people probably forget is all these wins that Jesse has gotten. It seems like the nights that Jesse's railing around the outside, Brad has been right on his tail trying to work the bottom side, but just couldn't get him. So it just kind of makes you wonder what the points could look like if he had a few more laps on some of those races. So
Yeah, it's just
Stop calling.
I think we're kind of laggy a little bit on YouTube, but
She said she still can't hear us.
but it's you should be able to hear you now. So it's
So you guys, if you're on there, message us.
yeah. Tim
send a message to us.
Tim Birdsall is
Don't call
messaging.
me on the phone.
He is it's saying we're here, so
Okay.
we should be good on YouTube now. It's a little laggy. It seems like the bandwidth's just a little bit off, but that just goes with the Wi-Fi. You know how technology is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Maybe we'll
but
get better as we go along here. So,
but
so,
so hopefully have some guests up here tonight. I know Tony Hardisty's going to come up tonight. He got his first stock car win last week in quite some time. I know he got that car traded up with Mike Van Genderen. It's a B&B chassis he's running, and it's a solid piece. And I knew once Tony went back down to a stock car, he is very, very good in a stock car. He is. I told him in the interview last week, I said, Tony, I know you've raced a modified for a long time, but you are a stock car driver at heart. He is. That's where most of his talent shines, is in a stock car. There for a while, when he was running that stock car and won that track championship one year, he was pretty much unbeatable that year.
yeah, well, I was interested to see how quick he would get acclimated to it because, you know, when Tony left the stock car class to go to the modifieds, that was kind of right about the time where we saw like stock cars kind of evolve, where like they were setting them up to hike up in the left rear a ton and be right on that right front. And well, long behold, he hopped right in there in second race in it, won it. So it was good to see. I was happy to see him get in victory lane. I wish I need to go back and figure out how long ago exactly it was since his last stock car win, but
It's got to be at least probably 4 or 5 years, probably.
I don't know if it's been that long, but yeah, you're right. I mean, he started out technically in that class, went to a modified, won a couple of big races in his modified over the years. I think he ran a Mr. Modified, won that, some big races. But yeah, he's been a stalwart in the stock car class, and he's a big supporter of that class, and it's glad to have him back just in time for the tradition too. So he'll be a force to reckon with when it comes next week for the tradition as well. So Tony's also been a big proponent over the years on the board. He's no longer on the board, but he was always a big push helping us get cars to come for the tradition. So he still works on that stuff, and we're happy to have him do that too. So
Yeah, speaking of tradition, next week we'll be mentioning some stuff tonight as we're announcing, but next week, obviously, race fans, is the tradition next Saturday night. It's just a one day show this year, excuse me, and it's it's going to be some fun. Hopefully some cars will come down and we'll get a decent car count. And it's, again, race fans, you know, I know there's scheduling conflicts and things like that, but we had to have it on this night because there's no other night in the month of September that we can do it because of either commitments that employees have down here. We've got scheduling conflicts with other racetracks. Like we just didn't have any time to do it. If we wouldn't have run it next Saturday night, we would have had to ran it like in the middle of October, and we're not going to do that. So because that's when you really start planning with weather. That's when it really starts to get cold and you know the rain chances start going back up again, and we just don't want to do that. We don't want to have to race in the middle of October. So again, we had to have it on this night, but I think our locals are doing the best they can with trying to pull people down here from other racetracks. They've been talking to some people, trying to get some more people down here, and you know I'm hopeful that's going to be a good night of racing. We're giving away a lot of money. I mean, it's over $30,000 we're going to give away, and it should be a good night of racing. I mean, $2,500 to win stock cars and $1,500 to win hobby stocks. That's fantastic. Also, big thanks to RJ Plumbing. They added another $250 to the compacts to make it. Compacts is now $500 to win.
I think it's $400 to win.
I think it's $500. I think.
Anyway,
I think so. Yeah.
They've been ready to win. But what I've always said is, you know, we've had conflicts many years of tradition with the different tracks, and it all came down to even back when we ran our point window through September with NASCAR. There was conflicts with our classes. You either chose to support that or support another racetrack. But it's the same way with this race. Like you said, we had no other choice but this weekend. You know, if you want to come and win some money, we're going to have it out there for you. So
yep.
And we always have a good time. You want to come, have fun, and pretty much guarantee yourself to get some money when you get down here because that's what happens. You know, and it's a good purse. Just take a look at it. You know, the start money's outstanding, and the win money's even better. So, another way to honor. You know, we got some great memorial races with Ross Griffith Memorial for our stock cars and our Jeremy Ribby tribute on our hobby stocks, and that's what that class started out with. What class? That's what that race started out with. You know, Jim Wichman, Tim Cooney, myself, we were all a part of this group that started this tradition 26 years ago, really. Because the very first one was a rain out, and that's what it was designed for, was a thank you for our stock car class. Because back in that day, we were getting 50-plus cars running C features, and it was a way to give back to our locals and hopefully get other tracks to come and support us to see how you could do against our locals and run for some big money. That's what it was. And back in the day, we lost money on it every time. So, I mean, but it was our way of thanking that class for being such a huge part of making this place what it is. So that's why it's still a stock car special. As far as I'm concerned, it always will be. That's the premier class, is the stock cars. They always put on a great show, and our hobby stocks became a big part of it as well as they grew since 2001. And as you can see all year this year, we say it in and out, guys. What's been the best show of the night every week, in and out. So, you know, the hobby stocks is just a fun class to watch.
Yeah, and, you know, I think we should have a good hobby field because as far as I know, there's nowhere that is really racing with hobbies that night. So that is one class we won't really have to worry about people trying to pick between the Prelude or here. So I think we could see a pretty stout field and I would, you know, maybe a B main or two.
I mean, for $1,500 to win, that's a pretty good chunk of change for a one night hobby stock show. I mean, that's pretty good money for a hobby stock race for sure. And for those of you that are trying to get other drivers down here and things like that, I just think of the fact that why go run against 250 cars for no money when you can run against maybe 40 cars for $1,500? I mean, that's just my thinking. Like, yeah, there's parking spaces that you want and all this kind of stuff.
But it doesn't matter. You don't get to stay. It's just all about practice. I mean, most of those guys want practice, but
the start
if
money,
you want to make money, then
huge. Yeah, the start money is pretty dang sweet here too. So that's the thing. So I hope you guys can come out and support us any way you can. You know, we do things to help all area racetracks, all area. You know, Joe Koziski said it best: when we lose a track, it hurts all of us. So we're in the business of helping everybody out, you know, and as we all should be, and not trying to diss anybody else. But those of you that made comments, we had no choice. We'll work on something next year to make things better, obviously. Yep. So we're always trying to obviously tweak it all the time, but you know, we'll get a good thing set up next year.
Well, the main thing that I will say is there's it's just like with anything, when people, comment on Facebook and all this kind of stuff, there's so much more behind the scenes than what anybody ever thinks. There's so many variables, there's so many hoops you have to jump through, there's so many people you have to contact, and all the sponsorships and all the, I mean, it's not just one simple thing that some people think it is. It's just not that easy. I mean, when you want to put an event on like the Silver Dollar Nationals, for example, out at I-80 Speedway, what Kaziski's did out there was incredible. I mean, that sort of event with that much money takes so many people, it takes so much time, and it takes so many sponsors in order to put on an event like that. And I think that's one thing that these people that are commenting negative comments on Facebook and all this stuff, that's the thing they don't understand, is they don't understand how much it actually takes to do these kinds of things. And it's just the shallow mind, and it's just, I don't know, it's just unfortunate when you get those negative comments like that. But again, we try to stay as positive as we can. We know the people that support us down here care about this place a lot. A lot of the drivers every single driver that we've talked to this year on the radio show is very supportive of this place and very appreciative, and they know how hard it is to run a racetrack, especially in 2023, because it's just not getting any easier.
And we're all volunteers. I can't say that enough. So
yeah, we volunteer our time down
our
here.
Racing
exactly.
Board, we're a non-profit organization, and it's our racing board. And I've been a part of this thing for 38 something years. I don't know, but anyway, we do it as a passion. I do it for the love of this place. I've come here since I was a little kid, so it's just neat to look back at everything we've done to this place. And that gets me into a subject I'll change real quick, because it's not our last night, but it's really our last regular night. We will have a show for the tradition next week. I haven't announced the time yet on that because I have to check with the studio. I don't know if we have a conflict with football or not.
I haven't checked to see when the Hawkeye game is.
We'll probably start early because our races start early. We'll start an hour early next week. But anyway, this gives me a chance to say a thank you to our fair board, our racing board. We can't thank them enough. I know Evan and myself were a part of that, but all the volunteers that come here, all of our staff, we can't thank them enough. We have a new flagman this year. He's been doing an outstanding job. Billy Rock, our director. Logan Carlson, our president, who puts time and time and time in getting this racetrack the way it is. And I know, Evan, you've helped. Lance Schwartz is another huge help with that. Guys come down. We do try to have fun with it a lot of times. Track prep, watering. Can't thank all those guys enough for all this. This is a time where I want to say this stuff because we never get a chance to say it that much. But all those guys, all of our board members, Lisa Brown, our treasurer, Candy Miller, our secretary, those guys work their behinds off. We have some new guys on there. Jimmy Kuhn, outstanding new addition. Jack of all trades to be able to have on the board. Ron Helvey, long time. Jacob Best. I know I'm going to miss some guys.
Melissa
Mike
Cooper,
Wood,
she's a newer one. Yep.
Our scorer up here, doing an outstanding job getting that system down as well. Josh Cooper's on the board now. And I know I'll miss Joey Kernan. There's guys I'll miss. I'm sorry, but I should have a list here in front of me. Didn't mention you guys, but Tom Williams. Yep. So, all those guys, long time. Many of them guys have been on here a long time, and it takes a huge group to put this thing on every week. And like we said, everybody's pretty much a volunteer. But yeah, so
and of course, big thanks to Billy Rock too.
Yeah, so
he takes a lot of the burden. Just a lot of the negativity, a lot of the drama goes to him, and he's got shoes to fill. It's a really hard job, and that's just another thing that people don't understand too is the commitment that you have to give this place to keep it successful. You're giving up your Saturday nights during the summer. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people in this world, especially in today's day and age, that don't like to do that. They don't like to give up every Saturday night because they don't want to have to be tied down to this place. But if you really love it, these people that are on this fair board and the people, all of our staff members here, our security guys,
our record
crews,
outstanding. They're dedicated.
Everybody down in the concession stand, Tammy with the concession stand.
Tammy Williamson does an outstanding job.
I mean,
hope we can keep her forever.
It's incredible how much people don't understand the amount of time and the amount of just volunteer work that has to be done down here to keep this place alive. And I really wish there were some people out there that were more appreciative of that, because there's a lot of people that don't realize that of how much work it takes to run this place.
And then on top of that, Evan, thank you. A lot of people have mentioned to me how well you've stepped up doing announcing and taken over, and now we have Cole helping, and you're getting.
Cole makes it a lot easier
Cole
for me.
Cole is outstanding too.
I get tired of talking.
Yep.
I got tired of talking to myself. I'm like, I got to get somebody else up here. And
anyway, you've said it, and you learned that it takes more than one to do it, because it's hard to be an announcer by yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta have
you did it one night. It's hard.
Yeah. I mean, I was running up and down a lot. I mean, it's definitely doable, but it's definitely
you
a pain.
Your butt off.
Yeah.
So.
And every single week deal, I did it for like 4 months by myself. I mean, it's hard. I mean, especially when you're trying to do music and you're trying to do all this stuff. It's just difficult. And for those announcers out there that do it by themselves at some racetracks, I mean, I don't know how you guys do that, because it is a lot more enjoyable and a lot easier when you have two people on the mic. So
I remember, we'll go back to the old days, but Kirk Elliott did this forever, and Steve Cabbage, Rick Cabbage, and Bob Harris, they kind of stepped in there, and they a couple of them slid in there and started helping, and you could just see it articulate how it just became so much better. And then Kirk retired, and then it was the three guys. It was Steve, Rick, and Bob. It was like an MRN broadcast. I mean, those guys were outstanding how they got this thing going, and that's back when the heyday hit, and you learned that it was just like the radio show. Those three guys did the radio show. But thanking everybody, thanking the staff, those safety guys, those record guys, all you guys, all the dedication we have, our tech officials out there too as well, cook staff, everybody. But on top of that, KCSI Radio, can't thank them enough. It's a unique and special thing we get to have here, to have this radio show to help promote our drivers personally, now that they can be seen on YouTube. It's such a great thing to be able to do that as well. A way of getting sponsorship out there, helping them out, us helping them out. They did a few they did some simulcasting this year with us to get us started on that. So like I said last week, we'll try to get that. So it's
one thing I will say too, while we're thanking people, now that Weldy's not able to do it anymore with his health and things like that, and I know Jim Witchman's health is not 100% either, but big thanks to Jim Witchman, I mean, for putting all them hours in. Jim and Pam do, I would come down here during the week, and they're just down here like mowing and spraying and all that kind of stuff. So big thanks to Jim and Pam Witchman for doing that. They are a great help for doing, for mowing and things like that, because we got a lot of ground down here to mow. And I know one thing that I would get frustrated with is mowing during the week out here in the infield, and you got to go all through those tire tracks, and you're just like, ugh. I would get tired of that. So thanks to them for mowing and all that kind of stuff. So
long time maintenance here was Weldy Cooney. We miss him. His health just isn't able to do it anymore, but we can't thank Weldy enough for all the years he's put in down here as well. So tell you what, guys, we've rambled here quite a while. I mean, we haven't even taken a break yet, so we're doing good. We're going right longer. We better take a commercial break and thank our sponsors to help us put on this show. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with you on Pitside Live.
Too busy at work to wait in a long line at Subway? Order online at order.subway.com. Simply register with your email and password and order away. You can also download the Subway app on your smartphone. Order up to 6 subs, salads, or pizza. Ready in 15 minutes once order is submitted. Also add chips, cookies, and drinks easily. And Subway's back to normal hours, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Order online at Subway in Red Oak, Clarinda, Shenandoah. Best Finish Auto Sales and Service is proud of the quality used vehicles they sell and their dedication to serve the needs of their customers. Whether it's your first purchase or one of many that you've had, you can count on their dedicated sales staff to make the best buying experience possible. They also offer financing on your vehicle purchase. Best Finish can also take care of your service needs, from oil change, brakes, alignment, air conditioning, to any body shop and repair needs. Stop by Best Finish Auto Sales and Service at 209 Sharp Street in Glenwood for all of your vehicle needs. Feeders Grain and Farm Supply in Corning, representing the most recognized and trusted brands in the industry, as well as locally sourced products. Stop by and see a full lineup of Purina products to handle all of your livestock needs. And if you need Sioux steel gates, they've got you covered. Browse the store and they're confident you'll find what you're looking for, or they'll order it in for you. Feeders Grain and Farm Supply in Corning, supporting all of 4-H and FFA members. That's Feeders Grain and Farm Supply in Corning.
Subscribe to the KCSI Radio YouTube channel today. Interviews, parades, events, contests, and more. Subscribe to KCSI Radio on YouTube and get notified every time something fun happens.
What if we could harness the power of the sun by using the earth to transform the way we use energy? Water furnace geothermal systems are simply the most efficient way to keep your family comfortable. Winter or summer, day or night, rain or shine, without burning fossil fuels. Giving you the freedom to focus on life.
Call Camlin Mechanical or visit CamlinMechanical.com for your water furnace needs today.
Even if it's been years since you graduated, your college team is your team for life. Well, you can have a Farm Bureau agent for life, and auto, and home, and business insurance. Imagine that. One insurance agent for everything. It's that simple. So get a Farm Bureau agent for life.
Contact Farm Bureau Agent Elizabeth Davison in Clarinda and Shenandoah at 712-621-2878 for all your insurance and financial needs.
Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Property and Casualty.
Are you interested in starting a career instead of just getting another job? Well, hop on over to Fresco System USA and let us help you find the one for you. We offer competitive wages, benefits starting day one, and so much more. You can pick up an application at 2026 Fernwood Avenue, find us on Indeed, Better Team, and Facebook, or call 712-623-8100, extension 6659. Spring into action and join the Fresco team today.
No matter what your insulation needs are, Heartland Foam Insulators is your go-to company. From removal to blow-in to foam, they are ready to go to work for you in any type of building, whether it be an existing house, new construction, a metal building, commercial building, or a unique project. Call Heartland Foam Insulators today at 712-623-4515 or heartlandfoam.com.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live here at Adams County Speedway, as well as you YouTubers watching us on the KCSI channel on YouTube. You're able to watch us online as well. Thank you for turning in, and once again, sorry for getting to watch us talk for 15 minutes earlier on.
No, it was only like 8.
Oh, 8, okay. Whatever.
Hey, that's the first time I've done that. So
Grandma called us, told us she can't hear us, so that was good that she did that. So we were able to figure out that nobody can hear us. So I was going to pull up results, guys, but I was just kind of also looking back here at the schedule. It's just funny how it mirrors last year a lot, where last year we rained out the first 3, I believe, and then we never had a rain out. We had the night off of the Silver Dollar, and then this year we rained out the first 2 and raced forever, and then we
had like, what, 2 in a row?
It was Independence Day, 4th of July weekend. We rained out. It ended up being 2 in a row.
That was a thank God moment for me.
And it was.
Because you went to Chicago. Yeah.
It was
and I was jealous. I was like, I wanted to go, and then it made me feel a little better when you got rained on over there, too.
Rained on? We got monsoon on. We were walking through puddles of water all day.
But we rattled off, I think it was 8 races. Let me see here. 1, 2,
Quite
3.
a few. So it's...
we rattled off 10, and then we rattled off, counting the night, we rattled off 7 again. So
breaks are good every once in a while.
It is. Oh.
But it's good to get going. But I know It just seems like Mother Nature every year doesn't let us race until May at least. So
so just looking at that schedule, I was just kind of jabbering here, but I know we've already started looking at next year's schedule because the 4th of July falls on a Thursday, and we heard a lot of grumbling about racing 4th of July weekend. I know that's an SLMR time too. I think the county fair is moving up a week next year in June, so we'll have to see how things pan out.
Yeah, I think the county fair is going to be before 4th of July.
It is.
So
there's a good chance we might take that weekend off. We don't know how things are going to pan out, but it did work out to have that break this year for 4th of July for us and family, but. It is, when you don't have rain out.
Knoxville Sprint Car Nationals weekend off, huh?
So anyway, nice. I guess I need to do what I was going to do, and that's pull up the results from last week. So real quickly, we'll go through the Floating Vine Compacts. Can't thank those guys enough at Floating Vine. Anybody here in town, stop out there. Floating Vine for a reason. The restaurant bar area is floating on a pond out there. That's a cool thing. It's right there at the intersection of 148 and 34. Great sponsor here. The old winery here in town. They're called Floating Vine. But anyway, they're sponsoring our compacts. They have been all year. But our top 10, let's go through our top 10 real quick. Jesse Ramos, the 19 was 10. Brent Shepard was 60. Number 69 was 9th. Andrew Akers in the 28th. Brian Van Osdale finished 7th. Dustin Grout in the 10G 6th. Dustin Shepard in 23 was 5th. Xander Steiner in the 5 car was 4th. Tyler Hoover in the 27 car was 3rd. Tyler Housley in the 15H, but your winner was John Berg. I'm just reading those results because I didn't get to see any of that last week.
So I'll go through some
semis.
I'll go through some points here really quick, guys. Top 10 in your Floating Vine Compacts point standings. 10th place is the 2J of Travis Johnson. He is a rookie out of Greenfield. 9th place is the R4T of Chris Hutt out of Osceola. He has got one top 5 on the season. 8th place is another rookie, the 91 car of Cody Albee out of Shenandoah. 7th place is the 8F of Jeremy Frazier out of Pacific Junction. Sixth place is the 99P of Justin Best out of Prescott. He has one feature in the season. That was his first career win, and 2 top 5s. Moving into our top 5, 5th place is the 15H of Tyler Housley out of Glenwood. 2 feature wins on the season. Andrew Akers is in our 4th spot in the 28 car out of Gravity with 2 feature wins on the season. 3rd place is the 23 car of Dustin Shepard out of Malvern with 2 feature wins on the season with 11 top 5s. 2nd place is the 5 car of Xander Steiner out of Shenandoah. He's got our most feature wins of the season. He has 3 and 13 top 5s. But your point leader, the 12 car of John Berg out of Creston with 2 feature wins in the season, 14 top 5s out of 15 starts. And one thing I will give a huge shout out to is John Berg, Xander Steiner, Dustin Shepard, Andrew Akers, and Jeremy Frazier. Of those top 10, those guys have been here every single night.
Yep.
So big thanks to all those guys for supporting us. They have got 15 features completed. And John Berg, like I said, all he has to do is pretty much take the green flag and he'll pretty much have it wrapped up. He's 49 ahead of Xander. His win last week made it pretty easy for him to do what he needs to do this week. And this will be 2 years in a row for John Berg, too. So
Yep. The good thing he got that one last year. He was really excited about that. And he looks like you have a good chance of backing it up. We're going to go ahead and do our results from our Chat Mobility Hobby Stocks before we get our next guest mic'd up. I'll go ahead and do that. And while you're doing the points, Evan, I'll get our next guest on my headset here. But in 10th place in our Chat Mobility Hobby Stocks last week, Tommy Luft in the 64L with a good run. Dave Wide Open Weedy in the 40X was 9th. Bobby Key from Heron Corning was 8th. Eric Kinsley in the 22H was 7th, followed by Zach Hemmingson. Good to see Zach back down here with us in the 3Z, finishing 6th. Buddy Heisek in the 16 car was 5th. Cody Warner in the 21 was 4th. Luke Ramsey in the 17 car was 3rd. Derek Myers, what a great run by Derek Myers. He led that thing for a while. But the winner, Adam Hensel, 7/8, was just too strong and got him overtaken, but nobody was touching him last week.
Yeah, it's incredible to me, Cole. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. It's incredible to me how, it's amazing how the 7H car of Adam Hensel has done what he's done this year. It's just been quite remarkable, really, because Adam's told us time and time again he's never been a points runner, and he has just been consistently fast every single week, and it's quite remarkable where he's at. So I'll go through the top 10 in our Hobby Stocks point standings, and then we'll move into our guest here. So top 10. 10th place is the 5 car of Derek Myers of the Glenwood with 3 top 5s on the season. Moving into 9th place is the 29 car of Anthony Fletchall out of Grant City, Missouri. He has got 3 top 5s on the season. 8th place is the 95 car of Jared Lund out of Greenfield. He's got 1 feature run on the season. That was his first feature win in 2 years, so Jared's had a much better year this year. 7th place is the 40X, the Hall of Famer Dave Weida out of Mount Air. 6th place is the 12G of Tyler Gray out of Clarinda. He probably has the most dramatic win of the year, I would say.
Yeah.
Driving through the smoke like Cole Trickle. So 1 feature run of the season. Moving into our 5th place car is the 7 car of Tom Myers out of Glenwood. 1 feature run of the season. 4th place is Cody Warner out of Clearfield with 1 feature run of the season and 11 top 5s. The 16 car of Buddy Heisek is our 3rd place runner out of Bedford. He has got 3 wins on the season with 9 top 5s. 2nd place is the 17 of Luke Ramsey out of Bedford. 4 feature runs of the season. That's most out of anybody. And he's got 11 top 5s out of 15 features. But your point leader, the 7H of Adam Hensel out of Atlantic, he's got 3 feature runs in the season. And what is separating him is he has finished in the top 5 14 out of the 15 nights. And I want to give a huge shout out. Every single driver in our top 10 that I mentioned, except Derek Myers in 10th place, every single one of those drivers has been here every single night. So big thanks to those drivers. But we have another guest here. He's got some scruff going on here. He's racing tonight. I don't know how it's going to go, but hey, Lance, what's up?
Not a whole lot.
So I wanted to get you up here because I wanted to talk a little bit about tradition. I want to talk a little bit about how things went this year with track prep and all this kind of stuff. And we thanked a bunch of people earlier about giving their time down here and things like that. It's been much easier for you now that you're living in town. So now all you have to do is drive down here, and you don't have to drive back to Nottoway. But what made you want to get the car back out?
I really haven't decided what the excuse was yet.
I think it's just you were getting the itch.
I was, and yeah, I mean, after Ross's funeral, I already had it kind of running, so I decided why not just get it fully ready and get it back out for one night.
Well, I think it was kind of a no-brainer, too, when Cindy kind of decided to do that Memorial Race, too, next weekend, that I think you really wanted to get something going, because just to have the car down here on that night would be good, because for the people that don't know, the car that Lance is racing, that is Joe Zadina's old car, and it was owned by Ross. So I know it would mean a lot to him to have that car down here on his Memorial Race. And if we have more cars where you were to make the feature or not make the feature, you're still going to be out there. So we want you to probably pace the field. So
do I get a provisional?
I don't know how that works. So
I mean, come on.
But I think that car is going to pace the field for sure. Be up front anyway for that race. But I know you've contemplated racing, not racing, giving it up, not giving it up, buying iRacing, not buying iRacing. You've talked about selling out, not selling out. I mean, you're just the kind of guy that you just kind of help out wherever, huh?
Yeah, I wanted to sell out at the beginning of the year. I almost had it sold, and then the wife talked me out of it, which is probably a good thing because she knew I wasn't going to be done. We weren't going to go back and buy all new stuff again.
That's not how those conversations normally go for
no,
racers.
It's not.
No, usually the wife says sell it, but I think she was more bummed when I told her we're not racing this year.
It's probably more boring for her.
It kind of is.
Because you've been just standing down in turn 4 all year long, taking butt chewing. So
yeah, she just stands there next to me, just bored. And she says every week, "I hate standing down here." And then I say, "Let's get the car out," and it's like, "Why?" It's like, well, it's a lose-lose situation with every guy. It is.
Yeah, but we do appreciate your time you've given this year, and you know, we might be looking for a turn 4 guy next year. So anybody out there that wants to run turn 4, just contact us because he might be racing again next year. Who knows?
Oh no, I'm racing full time next year.
New car?
Oh gosh, no. I'd love to just take that one. It's a 2010 Medieval. I'd love to take it up and get it updated, but I just don't really feel like driving that far north to go get it updated.
Why don't you just get a nice sponsor and buy yourself a B&B or something?
I don't think there's that nice sponsor anymore as much as they have went up in price.
I'm just saying. So. But Lance is one of our guys that's been helping all over the place, track prep, fixing stuff up around here, all that kind of stuff. And you know, Lance and I are kind of the same deal where we're down here when we can to help Logan out when we can. And I was telling people earlier that nobody really realizes how much time you have to spend down here sometimes. It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was down here, 2 hours Thursday, put on 4 loads of water, came down last night at like 9 o'clock. I think I was here till 11:30, putting more water on. And then I was here at 2 o'clock waiting for Logan to tell me something to do, but he just kept ignoring me because he seen my car was here, so he didn't figure I wanted to help.
Well, the thing of it is I was telling people earlier that the commitment that you have to be down here every Saturday night. I mean, yeah, some people are like, well, I have nothing else to do, but a lot of people don't like to give up their Saturday nights during the summer like we do.
And it's a lot harder, especially when you're racing, because you usually have a set schedule. Yeah, I'm going to work on the car at this time, and do it all this, and then come Thursday, Friday, it's like, oh man, I got to go help work on track, whether change out bleacher boards, or we're doing track prep, whether we need something needs fixed, and then we're doing track prep on Friday. You really got to plan out how you're going to work on the car, so it's kind of hard to be a racer and do track prep stuff, and that's kind of why I stepped away this year from racing, is try to help more on the track side, and I'd like to get back to more racing next year.
It's gotten boring, hasn't it?
It definitely has. It's way better in the car.
Spoken like a typical race car driver. That's why race car drivers don't like to come back, because they get the itch, huh?
Yeah, I don't think you can ever get away from it. I mean, there's a few that can, but I know, like John always tells me, he's like, yeah, this is going to be my last year. He's been saying that for like 5 years. So
every race car driver says that.
Yep. So
yeah, I'm probably going to be done for this year, and then the next year rolls around, and then they're racing again.
You got a brand new car.
Yeah, back into it again. But it sounds like to me, Lance, that you need to get a sponsor that's just going to help pay for stuff.
I mean, I got some good sponsors. I don't have like a...
You need a high dollar sponsor.
Yes, I don't have a high dollar sponsor that goes out and buys me a motor or wants to buy me a car. It's just, I take what I can get.
What about Surwa? That's a government sponsor.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to hand out money. I don't think they're in the business of doing that one.
You need to go down to Oklahoma and find yourself a rich oil guy. That's your way in.
Just send my wife down there, and maybe she can get a sugar daddy, and she can just front me the money.
There you go. We didn't need to go there, but okay.
Yeah.
She ain't listening. I seen she's in the trailer, so she don't have radio down there. She can't hear me.
Well, that's good, but she can go back and watch you on YouTube, though.
Yeah, she ain't that smart. Go back and look at it.
I'll tell her to go back and watch.
Absolutely not.
But, well, while we got you up here, I know you got people that help you and things like that. But who do you want to thank really quick to get the car back on the track? Who's people that have been helping you out besides yourself?
Me, myself, and I. All week, all I've been doing is doing it by myself. That way I know every bolt's done right, everything's checked.
Well, I know your Uncle Mark's helped you in the past with some financial stuff. I know your parents have helped you in the past, and I know Cindy's helped you in the past too. But it'll be really cool to see that car back here next Saturday night for the tradition. It'd be really cool if we could slap like a number 3 on it or something. Huh?
We've talked about, she wants to get a hold of Dre and do something on the hood for Ross. I'm still trying to convince her to let me race it. She keeps telling me no. But I don't know. I might need backup to help her convince me to let me race next week. But
if you don't race it, it'll still be down here, though. I mean,
that's what I told her. It's like, it's going to be down here anyway.
So you might as well race.
Yeah, might as well just race it. What is she going to do? And I just slap a helmet on and try to go out there if I have a provisional. Billy?
Well, I just wanted to get you up here because a lot of our points guys don't want to come up here and talk to us because they're all focused right now. They're all trying to win championships. So they don't want to come up here and talk because they don't want to jinx themselves. So you'd probably be the same way, wouldn't you?
I could really care less.
So are the butterflies coming back yet tonight or what?
Not too bad, honestly. Most of the day I worked on the car and then went and sat and watched the kickoff of the first football game and kind of felt fine. Not like usual.
They will once you get into staging.
Oh, yeah. Once I get into staging, it's all bets off. It's going to be, man, I need to go to the bathroom now.
Well, you picked a bad week to start working on your car, too, because it was hotter than Satan outside all week this week.
It was probably like 110 Wednesday when I opened the door to start working on it. And then, about 2 hours every day. Yeah, that was a lot of shirts I went through.
Yeah, and
it wasn't fun.
It's over at your parents' house right now, so you got to drive over to Brooks and do it too, and there's no air conditioning in there, obviously. And how much room's in there right now? I'm sure isn't that shed like packed full of stuff right now?
Oh no, we got quite a bit of room in there. I mean, I could have easily gotten another car in there if I really wanted to, but
So just racing tonight. If you don't race next week, are you just going to race it once this year and be done, or what?
Yeah, pretty much it. I don't go anywhere else. I've tried that, traveling somewhere else, and it just ends up with me fixing more things than it's really worth.
Nice.
I always wanted you. You went out to Heidi that one time, and I was so happy when you went out there, and then you had just bad luck out there.
I went out twice. The first night it rained out, so I went back for double features, and then I finished. No, the kid went out in front of me, plowed him, destroyed the front bumper. Go out for the second feature. Halfway through it, tie rod breaks. And I was like, great, this is fun. I don't know why anyone doesn't go anywhere else.
Yeah, but well, full-time racing next year. Hopefully everything goes well, and I still think you should get a new car. That's just my opinion.
Well, hey, you said I need new sponsors. What are you doing?
I don't. What, Lennox schools are going to sponsor you? I don't have my own business.
Come on, I don't. Hey,
just saying.
No, I know they ain't cheap. I've asked last year. Yeah, last year at the I-80, I asked around. I texted several chassis. You know, what is it just for a bare chassis? What is it for a roller? Because I had a lot of people telling me it's better just to get a roller, so that way everything's set up, ready to go, and then you can just stick the body on it.
It's just money.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, it's not money I don't have.
You already have a house, so you might as well just get a credit card and max it out.
Yeah.
Not pay it back.
Yeah, that's
you already have a house, so
yeah. I mean, our friend's a cop, so I guess he knows where to find me to come arrest me when I don't pay my bills.
Well, the best thing about it though is you got the car down there next to Jeff James. You got that sticker on the back. I love that sticker on the back of your car.
I was too lazy to take it off. I was sweating doing anything else. I was too lazy to take it off.
Catfish Kinzer.
Yeah,
it's got a picture of a catfish with John's face right there.
With catfish whiskers on it.
Yep.
I had to leave it.
That looks like something I'd do on iRacing.
Dre did that for him.
Yeah, a few weeks ago I did a car for my buddy, and he sent me a selfie, and I took his face, screenshotted it, and then I scrunched it down and put it all the way across his back bumper, so when you're following him, you're just getting stared at in the face.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get with Dre one of these weeks, and we're going to have to figure out a new bumper sticker for next year, because we made fun of you and Ryan. Now look, you got girlfriends thanks to the bumper sticker. Umpiresonly.com.
Yep. Maybe we should do something with Cole.
Well, see, I didn't know whether to go like Cole.
Put my face all the way across the back bumper.
Put his number on there too.
I didn't know whether to go after Chubbs, after Cooper. I probably won't go after Cooper. Chubbs is more likely to go next.
Be like, put Cole's face with his number and be like, he's single and ready to mingle.
Well, how's that going to make sense? All the drivers are male.
If he goes to victory
lane, why would
lane,
they want to be calling me?
Or you can put it on the side of the car.
Yeah, but you got all the girls running around down there. You know, they're going to walk by and see it.
They worked for umpiresonly.com.
Yeah, we had two single guys put that on the back. Now look at them. One of them's getting married in 2 weeks. And the other one hopefully will get married.
I'm basically married, so.
This is true.
So, well, I'm glad you came up here, Lance. We're going to go to another commercial break, but I'm glad you could talk to us. And hopefully you finish tonight in one piece. And
yeah.
Hopefully it's not too expensive of a night for you.
I hope not.
All right, race fans, that was a driver of the 20 car, Lance Swartz, also a Fair Board member with us. We're going to take another break. We're going to come back with you here on Pitside Live.
Since 1892, Malvern Bank has been building community from 404 Main Street in Malvern, Iowa. For generations, Malvern Bank has been serving local businesses, families, and farms to help them achieve their goals in every step of their lives. From saving for college to planning for retirement and everything in between, Malvern Bank is your full-service community bank, here to help as you plan for the next chapter of your life. Call, click, or stop in today to apply for an account, loan, or credit card. Malvern Bank, we build community. Member FDIC, equal.
Furniture, appliances, mattress sets, lift chairs, bedding, recliners, and more. S&S Appliance, your hometown furniture store in Clarinda, just received a large shipment of appliances. They have a huge selection of stoves, refrigerators, chest freezers, and microwaves. And if you need a mattress set, they have them. Plus bamboo sheet sets. They offer full service from start to finish with competitive price guarantee. S&S Appliance also offers delivery and installation. Stop by S&S Appliance on the square in downtown Clarinda.
This is Josh with Shore Motor Company in Clarinda. We want to be your GM dealer. We have highly qualified and trained technicians ready to work on your vehicle. Anything from recalls to warranty work and beyond, we are your GM dealer. Our service department is open 6 days a week for all your service needs. We even have an express lane for those no-appointment quick oil changes. Visit our website at shoremotor.com to request an appointment or give Mike or Amanda a call at 712-542-6581. We are your GM dealer. Shore Motor Company, just south of the square in beautiful Clarinda.
Just as your local State Farm agent teams combine good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates, you can combine your home and auto. And guess what you get? That's right, good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. This is your local State Farm agent, Dave Carball, and we promise to deliver the service you deserve at the price you want. My State Farm team will help you mix and match things perfectly. Call us today at 712-623-5639.
Oh, I'd like to not answer. Quite a few.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live. We are live here at Adams County Speedway on 95.3 FM, along with the YouTube channel. And Wiggy's over here asking me how many cars we have. I'll just let you know here really quick.
It's like 75, I think, so far.
Yeah, not too shabby. So it is championship night here, race fans. We got some really close battles going on, but we got another guest here, and he picked up a win a couple weeks ago, and it was like it must have been a full moon that night, huh?
I don't know. I've been having one hell of an August, I'll tell you that. I got a pretty good car right now, so
well,
I'm glad to be back.
You picked up a win, and then you went down to the Ozarks last week. If people don't know where he was at, he was with the wife down there, and it sounded like he had a pretty good time.
Good time, great time.
And you were down there at the perfect time where you left when it was just starting to get like.
I knew it was going to get hot, so that was all planned out.
Well, and then this week was brutal, but
yeah.
Man, that car 2 weeks ago, man, Jesus. You had a lot of drive, and it was just like, man.
Kind of found something last week there. He's been trying some different stuff, maybe in hot laps and heats. And when I got out in hot laps, I said, man, this thing is a rocket. So
you've been,
pretty good.
For the past couple of years, it's been ups and downs, and downs. Some nights you'll miss on the setup. Some nights, I remember that one night where the right rear went away, and it just sometimes things don't fall where you may, but you know how hard it is to win in the modified nowadays.
Pretty tough, yeah, down here. Track conditions are pretty, I don't know. It's more us hitting our right setup. You know what I mean? If you hit the setup, you're going to be pretty good here. But we kind of know what to do now. We've done it so dang long that kind of know what we can do and what, it just depends on the track.
This is year number
been dry, though. It's been pretty dry.
This is year number what for you?
I don't know. Really don't.
Do you remember what year you started racing?
Well, demo derbies, 35 years ago probably, or
40
years ago.
When did you start going in a circle?
Man, I don't know. I've been doing this 15, 18, 20, I don't know. Long time, probably.
He doesn't even remember. It was back in the day.
Then I figure eighted. Figure eighting was fun.
Oh, there you go. Where'd you do that at?
That's wild.
We did Adele quite a bit.
Yeah. You don't want to figure eight out here, but
well, we've tried it before, right?
Well, you're a guy that's right there, but it's just like getting over the hump and then getting the win, and it's got to feel good because, I mean, there's just so many strong cars down here, and it's so hard to win in that class, and sometimes the cautions fall your way, sometimes they don't, and things like that. I mean, were you just waiting for somebody to come up, or did you feel like you just had a good enough car? Or?
I just think we've been just this last 4 weeks we've really. Me and Colton have found just a little bit more. I mean, just little things that we're trying. It doesn't work, maybe go back, but just a little bit more, and seems to be working. I can tell my car's got a little bit faster. So
what's the end of the year look like for you? Obviously, you're going to be here next weekend and things like that. Is there any other place you want to try, or?
Oh, we're gonna. I don't know yet, but I'm trying to maybe go to the. What is that? Not Boone here, and like Wednesday through Saturday of.
Oh boy!
See what happens. So.
Let's get her going, man.
But who knows? I mean, like I told them guys, man, we got to go 1 week at a time. You never know what the hell's going to happen. Yeah. So we're gonna, tonight, and we got next week, and then, maybe there's a Stewart Thursday. I mean, who knows? You just got to get through each night, So.
And well, you and Colton are pretty much teammates now. Obviously, Gar takes care of both cars and things like that, and. He puts in a lot of time and a lot of work and things like that, and he is a part to a lot of your success.
Yeah, it's not it's not even me. When he's done, I told them guys, "Are we going to go this year?" And he said, "Well, I kind of planned." I said, "Well, I'll see you. Get going."
You have to ask him first before you go.
He runs the show, bud. So.
And for those of you that don't know, that is Clint Garside. That's Colton Garside's dad. Grumpy Gar, I call him every once in a while. You're down there, you know. I got to give him crap, but they're always a fun time, race fans. Make sure you go down there after the races. You know, Wiggy's usually got candy for kids, and they're a fun group to be around down there. You know, drink a few, have a good time. I know if they're partying down there, sometimes the fireball comes out. Who knows?
Not this year, but hey, I should have had that the other night, shouldn't I? Because that would have been empty.
You should have. It was a good night.
Yeah.
So, so the way this year's been going for you, I mean, did you ever think you were going to win this year? Or
you never know, man. In this stuff, you never know what the hell's going to happen. So it's no. Like I said, but I can tell I've just got a little bit quicker here. So
yeah, I mean, I talked to you after your win. It's not like you've been having a bad year.
No,
you ran 13 features and you finished in the top 5 for 12 of them. It's just that extra little bit that you got to get.
Yeah,
that
just missing that little
about.
piece. You know,
yeah.
It's not much, but it's like I said, my car's been good all year. But this month's been pretty damn good. So, and a win tonight would really be
icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Modifieds are so meticulous too. You know how it is. I mean, one little bar or one little thing here, and it's just like it's the difference.
It is a half-inch game, really. It's so minute that it's more than you think that would change it.
Talk about your driving style a little bit. You typically, I mean, you're typically a guy that doesn't like to throw it into a corner real hard, and typically what kind of driving style do you typically?
I don't know. It seems like I've been bottomed a little bit, maybe middle to bottom, right in there.
Catfisher.
Yeah. I've tried to do some top stuff. It just a little bit nervous, maybe. I don't know. Just not comfortable. Comfortable.
Just put the right rear on it and let it rip.
Yeah. Well, when it's going to be dry like tonight, it's kind of hard to do. So
yeah. Well, we did get a 1/4 inch of rain this morning.
Did you?
So yeah, we got some rain this morning. So that helped a little bit. It helps on the water bill too, and it also helps that the water tank's not the water tower's not quite empty yet, which is nice.
Wow.
So, but you've been a long-time supporter of this racetrack for many years, and we do appreciate you for all the support that you give us down here. You're one of those guys that's kind of a traditionalist. You never want to see this place change and things like that.
Yep.
And for as long as you'll be racing down here, I'm sure you probably never want it to change.
I don't want to shorten. Let's put it that way. If that's what you're kind of getting at, I mean,
it's kind of what I was getting.
It's kind of. I mean, I don't know. There's not many of these left, really.
Nope, there's not.
So. I always wanted to race at Knoxville once because it's kind of a big track, and then they did away with that Harris Clash, or they didn't renew their contract or whatever happened.
Yep.
And I always wanted to race there because it's. I don't know if it's similar, but it has to be similar. But
it's a little flatter, a little wider.
Yeah. But just as I would think, just as long.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, we do appreciate your time coming up here. I just want to chat with you after your win because I think you deserve some time up here. But any sponsors you want to thank, people you want to thank really quick?
Oh, man. I just I guess thank Garsides, and Southern Iowa Vending. They, we give candy away to people. I got to thank our wives. Put up with a lot of shit and just all the grind doing this.
Yep.
So
they do, and it's just a lot. I mean, just like you said, you took the night off last week because you wanted to go do something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to commit to be down here every single Saturday night.
It was kind of nice. I mean, I wasn't doing points this year, just like tonight. The Bergeron and Jesse was 6 points. I don't care about it because it doesn't affect me.
There's no stress for you.
I'm loose as a goose tonight.
You're just out there.
I can't wait.
Right, you're just out there driving.
Can't wait, yeah.
Points racing is stressful.
It can be, yeah. This year's been just go out and see what we got. So
that's all you can
stuff.
do.
Yep.
And Colton's getting a lot better, and I know he's learned a lot from you. He's learned a lot from racing with you and things like that. And it's got to be fun racing against him.
I think his car's he's tried a lot of stuff. I know that.
Is there a little bit extra edge? Do you want to beat him just a little bit more than anybody else on the track?
Not really. Not him, but I mean.
Okay.
I want him to.
Let me ask you this: if you guys are racing on the white flag, and it's for $2,000 to win, let's say, do you throw a nasty slider on him?
I might if I know I'm going to clear it. I'm doing it, man. Let's put it that way. I'm going to do
Parker on her nose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to hit him though. Maybe try not to.
Well, it's just how it is. But you've been You've been like I said, not calling you old, but you've been down here a long time.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's nice this year not doing the points. I really didn't even miss racing last week. Didn't bug me at all. So
good. Well,
nice, but yeah,
it was nice being at the lake though. If you were at home or something and you weren't here, it might be a little different
story. Yeah,
but you were at the lake, so
yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming up here and good luck tonight. And hey,
all right,
maybe 2 in a row for you.
I hope so. Like I said, August has been good.
You got one less guy to worry about now.
I know that. He needs to find another car.
Well, all right, we're going to take another quick commercial break. We got one more guest. That was the driver of the 36T car to Greenfield, Iowa, the Candyman Jeff Wiggins. We'll be right back with you on Pitside Live.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside live here at Adams County Speedway, as well as our YouTube channel on KCSI Radio. Once again, big thank you to Malvern State Bank. Can't say enough about Jay Burdick, all the help he does, both Farm Bureaus, all of our sponsors here with KCSI and our Pitside Live. We can't do without them. We really appreciate it. Hey, we have another guest on here tonight, and just old in the tooth, right? Just good. Tony Hardesty, Good to see you back here. You got to get back in victory lane. That's always a good thing, and you get you a different car and you get back in victory lane. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Every year since '97, feature win.
Yeah, feature win. That's cool. That's
impressive.
Yeah, very much so. That is a cool record.
Are you aware of when your last stock car race was or win was? Because we looked it up.
Yeah, it would have been in 2018.
You won one in 2019. It said.
Okay.
July 27th.
Okay.
So you almost got it to right at 4 years.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But
Yeah, you have that many wins. It's kind of hard to remember all of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. I walking through the pits last weekend and stopped talking to Dave Weeda, and I said, "When are you going to give up?" And he says, "I'm still having fun." And I said, "I'm going to go 1 year past that because he's the only guy been here longer than I have." So,
really?
Yeah.
That's it's we're all friends with Coon Dog and Tim, and we chuckle about how many generations or decades he's run. Decades, he always talks about that, how many decades he's run. Well, you're right there with him.
I am. This is my 37th year. So,
yeah. So I mean, it's just funny when he talks about. I think I've run. I can't remember 6, 7. I can't remember how many decades it is.
Well, I know how old he is.
Well, yeah,
so
I do too. I do too. I do too.
Yeah.
And congratulations to him. I think he's going to give her up here on the actual working side of it. Anyway, maybe, I don't know. Hopefully he does that. Hopefully.
Yeah,
I gave her up this year. I'm learning how to figure that out. So we all have to get to that point here. So, but tell you what, Tony, you've been a part of this place for so long. As other guys I've already talked about tonight. We just talked about Coon Dog and the Witchmans, and that's the iconic names of this place, just as you are. You've been a part of this board.
I believe 16 years on the board, 15 or 16.
Yeah. So, you get to see the ins and out of all the stuff we have to go through and the stuff we do and the changes. And, I can talk all day. We start talking about the heydays, in the 90s and the 2000s, what this place became,
Sure.
You talk about things with this new board and stuff. It's like, that'll never happen again. I mean, it just wouldn't work out that way with the volunteerism and how that stuff was done.
It's tough. Everybody's so busy, myself included. That's one reason I stepped down, just with some additional responsibilities that I chose to take on in other directions, and I'm happy I did it. I'm happy that I was here and give what I could over the years, and still want to help out any way I can. The underdog race, I started ringing the phone and got a little extra money, and had I thought about that a little bit sooner, I think I could have made that even a bigger event. But I also told Billy, times are tough now for everybody, and we want to leave a little on the table for the tradition also.
Sure, you bet it is, and because as well as I do the same thing. We're always, you want to. Our sponsors are fragile, and you don't want to, push them too far, and we want them to still always be a part of this place. And we have a lot of great sponsors that really help us. So.
And I, over the years, I use that term sponsor pretty freely, and in the most recent years, they're more marketing partners.
Yep.
I do have sponsors.
Right.
The guys that just, Chris True doesn't benefit a thing other than just enjoying seeing his name on a car. But I do have, some that I can help benefit their business and drive people through their door, and that's what it's about. And, in turn, they're very generous to me, and without them, I wouldn't be sitting up here.
That's the perfect word, because when I do my letters or texts or whatever emails I'm sending to companies, that's exactly what I call it, a partnership.
And the young guys out there listening, pay attention.
Yeah,
that's what it takes, and there's value in what you've got to offer. You just have to capture that potential and work on it and make the best out of it for you and them.
And this generation right here sitting beside us, streaming everything, nobody does cable anymore. It's like you got to stream, and it's every darn thing streamed. We get constant, hey, is radio going to be streamed tonight? Well, we know that's the way it is. It's not the future, it's now. And we talked about this last week, but it's also a way for your sponsors, our sponsors, to get more value.
Absolutely. And that's what I got to sell to them. Hey, I'll be up there on that radio eventually. And you're gonna
absolutely. Exactly.
It just took a little longer.
Like I just said earlier, it's like trying to thank all of our volunteers and thanking the radio station, because it's a unique deal, I think, that we're able to do this every week for an hour and a half, and it's a way for you guys to come up here.
Sure.
That's what we try to get different guys all the time, so you can mention your sponsors.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Marketing's huge. It's amazing what you have to do. You're out there having fun driving, but you also got to do some marketing too. So that full well. But the streaming thing, and I said it last week, is I really want to dedicate myself to try to get that done next year. So we have it on a weekly basis somehow. So on a pay-per-view, that's what it has to be, obviously, anymore. So, but we'll figure something out, and that's another avenue for you drivers to be able to out there and sell.
Absolutely.
Say, hey, we're going to be broadcast too. So
well, and not only that, that's another avenue for all these names down the front stretch.
Yep. Absolutely correct. Absolutely, because just like when you watch the big shows or whatever, they got that big triangle shape in the corner. So I mean, it's all about advertising. So,
oh yeah.
I mean, you see it. Like I said, you and Evan, you guys are streaming all the time. I mean, we're up here talking, and usually one of them's on their phone watching a race. And then when they're doing announcing now, they're in there watching a race. So
that's why you missed the call.
Yeah. Well, I typically don't pay attention while we're racing, but under caution, if we're under caution or in between a race, I got my nose in a phone somewhere watching a race out of town.
It is a huge thing now, Yeah. I'm the same way. I get home from work, and thank goodness Flo does replays,
Yeah. Yeah, so. It is. So, and what's more awesome is you get to go home and watch yourself on this thing next. It's like I don't even look up at that darn thing.
Is this my good side?
Yeah, I was like, well, okay. So all I try to do is make sure I wear hats to get our sponsors in there. So hey, RJ Plumbing right here, guys. We got to get that in there. So, but anyway, good to have you back in a stock car. I mean, you feeling pretty comfortable already?
Oh, absolutely. I kind of touched on this last weekend. It's a somewhat local car. It was Mike Van Gendren's. We come up with a deal and we worked it out, and we both left happy. And I took everything back home. Run it the first week, just left it exactly the way it was, and we took it home and tore it apart. And I told this in Victory Lane the other night. It's the same setup I won my championship with in 2013 and 2018. I just got a couple of numbers I always try to focus on, and we didn't even go through it's a B&B chassis.
Really?
I reviewed the B&B stuff, and I was doing then what they're doing now, so close, so I knew it would work, and it's an awful easy car to drive.
See, and that it's interesting you say that, because I talked about earlier in the show, and when you first got a stock car, I mean, when you got out of your stock car, that's kind of right when the class was really evolving into this, rear end way up in the air.
And I did not agree. That's one reason I left the class. I didn't agree with that. I thought it was going in the wrong direction. I would say now, all the years in a modified definitely helps in some of the, just knowing what you can make those cars do. Until a guy's been behind a 4-link car and kind of learned that, it does help.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's not as huge as it was, but it seemed like watching these specials with these guys on their phones and blah, blah, blah. But you saw the big modified guys were all getting stock cars too, so they ran both things all the time. That was, I don't see it quite as much, but it's still a pretty big deal where you got all those series that those guys do that all the time. So
and we were pretty excited in the spring. It was a brand new GRT we had, and we just never, my 8-year-old car fit my style better. I'm not saying it was a bad car. The next guy is probably going to go out and win a lot of races with it. It just did not fit me, and it wasn't for lack of trying. And I sat down and talked to the guys, and I said, I'm not sure what direction I'm going here. This could be it. And they said, we're there till you're done, or it's whatever you want to do. And so the wife and I spent a lot of nights talking, and she said, "Are you happy?" And I said, "No, I'm not." And so it was easy to
I mean, you got to be happy.
Easy choice to make.
You got to be happy and have, just like you said, we did it because he's having fun. Being happy and fun is the main thing part of this, isn't it? So this is the third week in this car.
This will be the third
week
night out.
Yep. That's what's great, and just in time for the tradition.
Sure.
You got to be happy about that. So you're feeling confident. I mean,
very confident. We'll see what we got tonight. I watched the tapes from last week, and I could tell you about when it was. And it was about 5 to go. There was something wrong, and I had kind of elaborated that on the phone with you earlier today. And we ended up, we're lucky to finish. Rear end gear was starting to go away. Had a bearing go, and that really kills horsepower, and it was dragging down pretty good. So kind of excited. Thanks to Todd Owens. He helped us out. He had a gear. I couldn't get one of what I wanted built in time, so he was able to get one pulled out. Actually pulled it out this morning and got it to us. So again, thanks to Todd and them for helping out in that way.
Absolutely. Todd's another good sponsor here at ACS, so can't thank them. I know you've helped them out a lot too, driving some of their vehicles, getting them set up.
And that kind of, sorry, Todd, that
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, that kind of You know, that was an old car, Cody Clark's, and there we got stuck there early on. Just we did good the first night out, so we were stuck kind of in the back, and I don't like working on stuff. And I told him, I said, you're not going to see me be very aggressive here, and just wait it out. But every night I'd look, and my gosh, we were with that old car. We were turning faster laps than the leaders a lot of nights, and so those guys that come to the track say, I got this old car and I can't keep up with them. There's you just got to know how to make them old cars work.
Yeah, so, you know, because I know you get Rick out there with one, and you know it's you know they can still turn them, but yeah, it's just technology's changed a little bit from all the old Camaros.
Absolutely.
You know, so those were fun times though when you get to look back. Hey, just tell Todd, you know, eventually we'll get the nostalgia class going again, maybe. You know?
You know, that old Camaro, I run that several nights for him, and that thing, you know, we almost pulled off a win had there not been a caution for debris that we never could see. I don't know if
was it 2 years ago when they brought one? I can't remember. It was a 20, but it was red or something. I thought maybe it was. I can't remember. But first thing I looked at, I'm like, God, it's like a sportsman out there. I mean, that's exactly what I thought of. You know, it's like, man, did that bring back the memories.
Yep. I know the car you're talking about because I think that was an old Haupt car, and because I think the night they brought it ended up. I think they ended up in the tire barriers over there. But
that's the first thing I thought of. Man, that was like a sportsman out there. That's just, you know. That was fun time. So anyway, so I'm nostalgic. So start thinking about the old days, but that brings me back. So anyway, so what are you looking forward to the rest of the year? I mean, you obviously going to run Tradition, but other races for the season?
Yep. Tradition actually got registered. There's a race up in South Dakota first weekend in August. We're all set up to hopefully go up there. You know, like
in
Wiggins
September
said,
or
no,
October?
first week October.
October. Okay.
It's like Wiggins said, you know, you just got to take it 1 week at a time and just get to the next night. So but that's the guys that I got. They love to travel and hit a special, and the Cornhusker was kind of our thing.
Yeah, you betcha.
And so this will kind of replace it. Unsure on going to Harlan yet for the Tiny Lund. Just.
Right.
With some other commitments I may have. So
have you run that track yet since this year?
I have not.
No, so
I have not. You know, I'm torn. I like the speed of the big half-mile tracks. You know, as far as probably my most favorite track ever was Atchison, Kansas. If anybody ever been there, it was a beautiful facility, but it was a little tiny track that raced like a big track. It doesn't make sense, but it raced like a big track, and some drivers kind of understand that.
Right. You know, Evan got to grow up watching Eagle on Friday nights because we lived in Glenwood there for a while. But I got accustomed to that. You know, I've been here forever, always. But Friday night was where I could go and watch that. And that third of a mile track, you know, to me raced like a pretty darn big track too. So you know, it's a neat setup, higher bank and anyway. But yeah, that's the thing. It's we can debate that all day long. You know, what's the right size track and this and that. It's just I get tired of hearing about it. So it's just it's frustrating.
See, I don't think there is a right size track. I think it all just comes down to configuration. I mean, you look at I-80, it's a big track, but it ran like a bull ring, you know, so it's like it's just one of those things where if you have the right configuration,
Well, I'm going to go a little further than that. Configuration, what I would take from that is if you've got a big half-mile track that you can race in, you've seen it a lot here, probably in the most recent weeks, that you can race 2 and 3 wide, and that makes it a good show because you know if it's just a follow the leader around the top or bottom, none of us like that.
No, and neither the fans.
No. So and we've been pretty fortunate, you know, whether it's weather or just everything's kind of coming in alignment there, and we've had some pretty good racing.
It has been. It's been. It's held up real well.
So those doing the track prep, you know, good job and keep it up.
Yeah, that's a nice little crew they have to helping out once in a while, and so I haven't learned how to run that new equipment. That's too new for me. The old, what is it, 656 or whatever. I said that's my style, guys. That's something old, but nobody wants to touch that thing anymore. So all I can do with that was a wheel packer. So anyway, it's fun that we have that group, and you know. But tell you what, Tony, it's good to have you back in the winner's circle again, back and having fun.
Yep,
that's the main thing.
Yep.
I know, like we said earlier, it's a good way to do this now, to get sponsors, mention people, family, friends that help you. I know you guys got a great group down there, a great crew, you know, what do I want to call it? I call the other groups I don't want to call that. I'm lost my train of thought here, but you have a group of not just you, other drivers down there. That's what's neat,
And I touched on this last weekend in Victory Lane, and it was pretty tough. But Steve Luther was a big part of a lot of guys here. Chuck Hewlett, Steve Churchill, his boys, Corey and Cody, racing here. And last Saturday, I actually was late getting here because I went to his funeral.
Right.
And had you walked into that, man, if you loved horsepower, you were in the right place to see some of the things that he had done over his lifetime, both circle track and truck pulling. So I just wanted to touch on that because I know there's a lot of fans here that knew Steve, and a lot of racers that he helped out in one way or another.
Yes.
So,
and unfortunately, the older we get, the more we have to deal with that stuff.
Sure.
So
we're getting closer.
It is, and we lost a good one this year in my family.
Absolutely.
We're going to memorize next week. So but that's the neat part about it, and I know they want to be a big part of that too. So looking forward to that, and another way to honor Ross. So anyway, and
Ross was right there and helped me out many times also. If you were a racer, I mean, he wanted to, Ross is the one that got Jonathan Kinzer started. Give him a car.
All you had to do is ask.
Yep.
That's what Ross was.
We went and drug it out of the weeds, and
you asked, Ross is going to help you.
I remember that car.
Yeah. I think there might be a TikTok out there this week that my boy Mason put together that he was, Mason was, I don't know, probably 5-6 years old when we went and got that thing, and so.
I love that car. We called it the Dolphin because we could never get it to stop going, porpoising through the corners. So, but it got him started.
It did. Yeah.
Get the bug bit. So,
but no, there's many others. That many have been over the years, kind of career-long sponsors and marketing partners, whatever you want to call them, and this is by far my most expensive year of racing, just for many reasons. But it's getting tougher out there. It's tough for everything, but my goodness, racing in general, the percentage that the cost of everything's went up over the last 2 years is we're lucky to have the cars that we've got here, just based on that.
I mean, I can't complain with our car count. What we've been able to
maintain. If you got a friend that is a racer, a tire's $150. Let me tell you, it might only be $150, but there's a lot of those guys out there that it sure helps.
You betcha.
So, that's not directed toward me in any way.
Oh, no.
It's just there's
a
lot of them out there, but no, over the years, like I said, there's been a lot of people come, and I guess I wouldn't say any of them have went. They kind of hung in there when I started taking it serious. As far as when I say I come and race for fun, when I started, I was happy just making laps, and that's not enough for me anymore. And and that's just what goals you set out to try to achieve. But like I said earlier, Todd at Owens Collision down in Clarinda, he helped me out with the gear today, and R&S Auto, Roger's been huge part since 1989 was the first year, and so he's been there the whole time since, and couldn't do it without him.
Speaking of which, we're going to have a September 30th. We're having an auction here. Roger's putting on.
Yeah, I know. I got hit up to help get some of them old relics running. So, Dre, Underdog Design. He helps out a lot of guys here. And definitely makes us look good and helps keep us looking good. And very, very talented sign guy, and anybody out there, whether it's race cars or just anything in general. I mean, he's the guy you need to be reaching out to because he does phenomenal work.
Yes, he does.
So, and some of these you're gonna see him out here on the front stretch. It's they've realized the importance of not only me but with the Speedway, the value of it. But here's one with Custom Diesel. They've been here, I believe this is the 8th year, and
long time.
So they're definitely a huge part of it. Spencer's Chop House in Creston.
Yep.
On a rain out.
Great place to eat.
Head on over there, and there's some other cars you'll see wandering around out there that Tom chooses to help out, and it's much appreciated. B&S Concrete, Adam Becker, right here in Corning. You got some concrete work. Let me tell you, if you come up and took a tour of my shop.
You can see it firsthand when you walk in that right between that green bin, because that's all Adam's work right down there too.
Absolutely.
And there ain't a crack in it.
No, just does outstanding concrete work. And so these are the ways that Adam can help us racers. I know he's on some other cars down here when we get you guys out there wanting to buy some concrete.
That's right. So, absolutely.
Just new this year. Again, the sign's right down here just past Victory Lane, and I'm not sure if they're here. They were definitely here in big fashion last weekend, and that's HFC Transport.
Yep. They're a great group, man.
Absolutely.
They're gung-ho about this place.
Not only Heath's him and his wife, the owners, but just their employees. This was a way that he approached me he wanted to treat his employees to
There was 2 drivers of the trucks last week that had never been to a race ever, and they loved it. So that's what's awesome.
Yep. So again, I said earlier, Chris True Farms. Chris has been a big part of our program for many years, and he knew, and I reached out to some of the sponsors and told them kind of which direction I was going, and I wanted them to be aware. And he said, you know what? Don't even worry about putting my name on there. We'll worry about it next year. And we got it on there, so I'm comfortable knowing that Chris is going to be a part of it next year. And he's one of those that just loves to help us out.
Yes.
And
they were here with the truck last week too.
Absolutely. I'm getting to the end here.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
Hardesty Contracting. That'd be my brother Darren. He does a lot of different excavating and different projects, septics and stuff. If you're in the market and needing something like that, he's up in Cumberland. You can find him, I know, on Facebook and different things. But he's been there, whether it be on the track or helping me. He raced a few years here not that long ago. Mid-State Machine. Unfortunately, the engine in my car was not born at Mid-State Machine, but John had his hands in it 3 nights ago and freshened it up right before I got it. So just put
He's
a
been
little
with
bit
you
of,
a long time.
He's been with me a long time, and just puts my mind at ease knowing that if he's had his hands in there, that I shouldn't have to worry. And but I do know that John's got more potential for me, because it may look fast right now, and that's not all under the hood, because it's not. I've had a lot better pieces, and I'm not.
Sure.
So I'm kind of excited for next year.
Know that. Yeah, you betcha.
Absolutely. So, Ryan and Courtney Brown, fans of the Speedway from Lenox.
Yep.
They help out in any little way they can, and if you look off in our pits every Saturday night, you won't be able to see us because of the nice pit lighting that Ryan provides for us, and we definitely appreciate that. You can't forget the wives and the family, like Wiggins said. It's not a me thing. It's a commitment from everybody, and after all these years, I've heard my wife say, "Let's just be done," and let's go ride the Harley, and as I said in Victory Lane last weekend, she had surgery and they wanted her out for 6 weeks, and she's got people helping her up the steps to the box tonight. She says, I don't want to miss it. So, thanks to her for letting me do this. Crew guys, and they've been, just like today, we had a golf tournament for the fire department that one of the guys here couldn't make it, and he missed out on a good time.
Yeah.
But Sean Wilson.
Yep.
Some know him as Jig.
Yep.
He puts in a lot of hours.
He's been on the board before too.
Yep. Justin Bissell, he come down here so he's been helping for 3 years. He come down to help my wife with a surprise 50th birthday party 3 years ago. Now I kind of give my age away, and he kind of got hooked on it, and he's been here every night since. That unless he was on vacation with his wife. So he helps out in many ways, and he's still learning. Mason, my oldest boy, I kind of got a split share time with him now because we now have a sport mod in the shop there with Tate Hafner, and Tate's another one that's been there, you know, and
long time too.
And but he got the bug, and you know, let me tell you what. I've said this to many kids, and it come from a mentor of mine, and it was the successful will do what the unsuccessful won't. And that kid worked his tail off mowing yards, working at B&S Concrete, pouring concrete and doing whatever it took. And he went out and bought his first sport mod and paid cash out of his savings account. He did not have one bit of help from his parents, and so they're supportive of him, and it's a great thing. And you know, Tate has only had 4 showings now, and we just keep working a little bit on his car and getting him settled down. And I think he did tell me today he's gonna, at least for the heat race, he's gonna attempt to take his regular starting spot. So
good.
And I think he's getting and you know, maybe even for some of them younger guys out there listening, listen to the older guys. I think this is a good piece of information to maybe to gain some respect or earn some respect. You know, it's not a bad thing to start in the tail and just learn what you can do. And once you start passing cars, you're ready to be up front.
Exactly right.
So, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but you're going to have a lot of respect from guys, and you're going to learn a lot following them. And
you're hearing from a veteran. That's exactly right, man.
So, well, I know I've taken a lot of time.
No, you're
up.
fine. We're running long, but we're good. We're good. They're great back studio.
It's been a while.
Tell you what, it's like. But Tony, I'm glad you made it up here. I'm glad you got back in Victory Lane. I'm looking forward to seeing the tradition and seeing what you can do back it up tonight. So.
We've already said, you know, we got at least 2 more opportunities to show.
You bet.
You know, the first night out with that car, Justin was unable to make it. He had I believe, a bachelor party, and so last weekend he said before the heat race, guys, we got our own little thing to do, and he was putting the window net up, and he says, I want to see what kind of potential you got here. And I come back in from the heat race, and he says, well, it wasn't bad. And I said, well, you didn't tell me I had to show it all. after the feature, he says, I understand what you meant. Sure. And you know, Wiggins said that earlier. It kind of touched on something. Most drivers know when they drop the green flag, you get to the corner, and I've had cars that on the exit of turn 4, you know, hey, I got something, and you get that feel in the seat of your pants. You know what you got, and you can really get aggressive when you know you got something like that. So,
Tony, glad you made it up
here.
Thank you, all you race fans. This is Pitside Live. What do we got here?
91 entries.
We have 91 entries tonight.
Awesome.
They're getting a hot lap out there. So, awesome. But I tell you what, this is a championship night, folks. Great night to be out here. So get your butts on out here, because we're gonna have a good time, and we'll see you again next week for the tradition. Probably an hour early, but I'll have the radio station announce that later on. But thanks for joining Pitside Live, and let's go racing. All right, win.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right.